Hey, what's up, guys? It's Luke, and you're watching Luke the Gathering. Thanks for checking out the channel. I really appreciate it. Today, I was at the pre-release for Innistrad Midnight Hunt, and it was sold out at my local game store, Davis Cards and Games. Really fun time. Lots of folks were there. We were very excited to check out this new set, and for me, I think there was definitely some trepidation because they had this day and night cycle, which I found completely confusing. I was hoping that playing the set would make it, or playing the cards in person would make it a little bit more concrete, but I still think it is a mechanic that is a bit confusing, and boy, sometimes it is hard to keep track of because when you forget like how many spells you cast, or you just kind of forget about it for a second, then you lose track of day and night, and that's something that can definitely happen. You really have to sort of keep an eye on it. You know, on a platform like Arena, that doesn't happen because it automatically tracks it for you. You don't have to actually pay any mind to it on Arena, because it'll do it for you, which is great. So I almost feel like there's a conspiracy theory where it's like my own conspiracy theory where Magic wants to push you to the digital format because, man, keeping track of day and night is so much easier on Arena. And I played a couple games on Arena, and it was just changing day and night and all this kind of thing. And I was like, okay, I understand that it's switching. I'm glad I don't have to keep track of it. But at the tournament, oh my gosh, two of the games, my first two rounds went the full time into overtime because keeping track of day and night and trying to look at all the new cards and trying to keep track of all the stuff that comes out of the graveyard. And I really hadn't done a lot of research onto Innistrad for myself before, so I didn't really know the cards. Man, it was just trying to figure out everything. It was overwhelming a bit for this set. So I really hope as I play it more, I get more used to the thing, and then it becomes something that becomes second nature, and hopefully that's something that happens. This is definitely more complex than AFR was, and so I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, I think there's a much steeper learning curve. This tournament I did not do well in, and I'll show you the cards I got in my sealed pre-release kit. There were some folks that got some really cool stuff. I felt like my rares in this, I'm looking at them now, and I'll show them to you in a second. I just don't know. I don't think they were that great. I ended up being in blue and black. And you know what? Let's not waste any more time. Let's just take a look at the cards I got, and you can tell me what you think after you check them out. So let's do it right now. Alright, so here is the deck. Actually, I made a mistake. It's blue, black, and green. So I actually didn't have any trouble with mana fixing. I had an Evolving Wilds, which is actually in the set again. It was an AFR, but no real big trouble with mana fixing. So we went 3 colors, and I think my deck had a main focus in the graveyard because a lot of things had stuff that can get them back out of the graveyard, like Disturbed. Anyways, here we go. Storm Rider Spirit. This is a 4 and a blue. Flash and Flying. Didn't do a whole lot for me this game, unfortunately, but I do feel like this might be decent. 3/3 flyer. There are actually quite a few flyers in this format, so having flyers is pretty important. Blood Pact. Now, I thought this was going to be great. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. I'm like, ooh, if I can get them down to like 2 life, I can win the game with this card even. But then I was like, ooh, I can also just lose 2 life and get cards. That's awesome. But what ended up happening was I felt like I was always on the back foot, and so because I was always on the defensive and I was always feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough life, I actually never used Blood Pack, so that was a bit disappointing. This guy was pretty cool. Drownyard Amalgam. Zombie Horror. When he enters the battlefield, you can mill 3 cards, so you can either do it for your opponent or even yourself. Self-milling is actually not a terrible thing in this set because you might be able to mill some cards that you'd rather actually have in the graveyard. This guy also has the ability where he can't be blocked. He's a 3/6 and he can't be blocked, although he does make a really good defender. So sometimes you might not want to attack with him, but it's really cool that he's a 3/6. Ecstatic Awakener. This is only a 1-drop, but if you sacrifice another creature, it can become a 4/4. That is really kind of nice. So if you can get like those cheap zombies out there, you can actually turn this guy into something pretty strong very early. Vivisection. And oh, here's the other thing. Like, after playing the set, now I kind of have a much better grasp. Just getting a feel, seeing how people are playing it. I feel like the next time we do this, hopefully, I'll make a better deck, play a little bit better. Vivisection. This is nice. You get to draw 3 cards, but you have to sacrifice a creature in order to play it. So that is a little bit of a steep cost, especially I felt like I said, I was sort of on the back foot, so I didn't really ever want to sacrifice creatures or lose life because I felt like I was really losing too much. So this type of card didn't really help me out. Blood Tithe Collector. This is really cool. 3/4 flying, and if an opponent lost life, then they also had to discard a card. I think this was actually one of the better cards in my deck. Dawnheart Rejuvenator. Here is a green. This guy is cool. Add 1 mana of any color, and when he comes in, ETBs, he gets you 3 life. And a 2/4. So pretty good. Can block pretty well. I really like the frame on this card. It's pretty sweet. Overwhelmed Archivist. Now here's the one. So when he enters the battlefield, you can draw a card, then discard a card. That's not bad. And you can disturb. He comes back as a flyer. And same thing, draw a card, discard a card. But, if he gets into the graveyard on this side, he's exiled. And he has less stats, 2/1 instead of 3/2. Here's another one. Destroy target creature, you lose 2 life. So Infernal Grasp, really cool. You're just paying life to get rid of something, and I would do this especially on a creature that is going to actually hurt you for more than 2 on their next turn. But again, I was on the back foot. I said it a bunch of times already, and so the Infernal Grasp wasn't working too well for me. Root Coil Creeper. This guy's really cool. You can add 1 mana of any color, or 2 mana of any one color, if you're going to do this for spells from your graveyard. You can also get flashback stuff from exile to your hand. So this is really nice. I use this guy quite often, especially for the mana. So, and he's blue-green, which I was playing blue-green-black, so super useful. This guy fixed my mana quite often. There was another guy that did that too. Really nice. Eaten Alive. Again, sacrificing creatures to use it. I actually didn't really draw this card that much, but I thought, oh, this is a set where you can sacrifice a lot, but it kind of did not work in my favor. Locked in the Cemetery. This is like a Charmed Sleep in a way. It's kind of like a blue removal spell. It's really good for just 1 and a blue. Revenge of the Drowned. This is one where you can create a 2/2 black zombie creature, and you can make them, it can bounce a creature back into their deck. So not bad. Didn't really get any play, unfortunately. Hobbling Zombie did get play. Death Touch. And when it dies, you get a 2/2 zombie token creature with Decayed as well. Anytime you have like Death Touch, I think it's a really, really nice threat. There are a lot of bigger creatures out there in this set, and so Hobbling Zombie is really nice to just kind of keep those guys at bay. I noticed that I didn't really have any huge creatures until I saw this Burly Breaker 6/5, Daybound, and can turn into an 8/7. That's really good. With Ward 3, this is actually the only reason I was in green, because I really wanted this thing in there. And I was able to get him out a decent amount during the tournament. The only issue with this card is, I don't think there's any issues, but this is a great card. 5 mana, 6/5. That is so great, and it has a little bit of protection. That's more than some of the rares I got, and I'm going to talk about those rares in a bit. Startle was cool. Target creature gets -2. You get a token, and you get to draw a card. Dissipate is like a counter spell, or is a counter spell. Let's see, this is the wrong side. Here we go. Covetous Castaway. When Covetous Castaway dies, mill 3 cards, and you can disturb. Sometimes if you don't want to mill, if he's just in the graveyard, you can just make him come back as a flying 3/4. And flying 3/4 is nothing to sneeze at. Hound Tamer is also really good. It has trample, 3/3, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature for just 3 and a green. This guy actually won me one of the games. Not a round, but it won me a game. And that's nice, because getting those +1/+1 counters is actually really sweet. And then on the other side, other wolves and werewolves have trample. So nothing too different. Has a little bit better stat line, 4/4 instead of 3/3. Evolving Wilds, we all know that one. Gale Drifter. 3/4 with Disturb Flyer. Comes back as a 2/2 flyer. Okay, here are the rares in the deck. Siphon, Insight. This actually was cool. I actually was able to grab one of the rares from an opponent, and it was the one where like you can take over their creature, and I took it over, and it sort of helped me not win the game, but at least I was able to stay alive in that game. Siphon, Insight. And it has Flashback. Suspicious Stowaway. This was really cool. This guy can't be blocked. It's day-bound, so it starts the day and night cycle. But whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then discard a card. So this guy really helps you get through your deck. Not blockable either, only for 1/1. But when it's night, you get Seafaring Werewolf. And same stats, except instead of having to discard a card, you get to just draw the card straight up. That's way better. And you get to attack for 2/1 instead of just 1. And, you know, if you somehow buff this guy, you can even get more attack, and that's really, really awesome. So I like the Suspicious Stowaway quite a bit. This was the promo that I got. Old Stick Fingers and Oleg are the two other rares I kind of made me want to play blue, green, and black. So, Old Sticky Fingers, really interesting. When you cast a spell, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards. Put all creature cards revealed this way into your graveyard. So, like, I would put in, like, 4 or 5. And the cool thing is, if you were able to hit ones with Disturb, they could come back. All the other cards go to the bottom of your library. Now, the power and toughness is equal to the number of creature cards in the graveyard. So, whatever you mill plus whatever is there, that's pretty good. He was often like an 8/8 for me. Sometimes he was like 7 power, but in any case, very strong. But sadly, every time I made him strong, he was chump blocked and taken out, death touched with an instant. I didn't even know what that instant was, but there's an instant that just gives creatures death touch. Instagon. I never got in attacks with this guy, and I spent all that stuff trying to make him big, and just very disappointing. So I wasn't too happy with Old Stick Fingers, because I thought, oh, I have a big creature, but this guy has no protections. And so he doesn't even have trample. So, I mean, really, this guy didn't do a whole lot for me. I thought this guy could be maybe a game winner for me. It was not. And my other rare was very, very similar. Ludovic Necrogenius. Now, not bad is only comes down for 2. It's a 2-drop. So that's actually great. Now, when you transform, and now, granted, it costs 2 blue, 2 black, and X. What happens is, when it transforms into this side, it becomes a copy of a creature card exiled with it. Except its name is Olog, Ludwig's Hubris. It's a 4/4, and it's a legendary blue and black zombie in addition to its other colors. And then you get +1/+1 counters on Oleg equal to the number of creature cards exiled with it. Okay, so this transforms into Oleg, Ludwig's Hubris. It becomes a copy of a creature card exiled with it, except its name is Oleg, Ludwig's Hubris. Blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot going on here. Again, this is cool. Makes a big creature, but no protection. And so, again, I feel like this card died to what Old Stick Fingers died with, and it just ruined my day. Thanks a lot. So that was what happened with this. I wasn't too happy with these guys. So my two biggest guys in the deck, no mythics at all in what I got in the pre-release kit. So I just did that, and it didn't do that well. So that was the deck. Let's just see some of the other stuff I got. This is just in a pile. I got a Deserted Beach, one of the slow lands. And if you see anything, you're like, why wasn't that in there? I probably should have been in there. Like, there's a bunch of things I should have put in there. But, you know, as a new set, you don't really know. These lands are gorgeous, though. Let's just skip past this. And we had Join the Dance, Jack-O-Lantern, Silverbolt. That should have been in there, actually. I should have thrown that in there. People use that against me to very good effect. Pithing Needle was another card that was rare that I got in this, but I just didn't think it did a whole lot, so I didn't put it in there. If I'm mistaken, please let me know. I wanted to put Olivia's Midnight Ambush in there. I had a lot of sort of removal, and so this is the one I decided not to use. Was it a mistake? Maybe, probably. I'm trying to see if there are any other rares. I think there might be. I did get a lot of white. Oh, here we go. We got a Sun Gold Sentinel. I didn't really want to use Coven. I felt like Coven was like just like an aggressive sort of tactic, and I didn't really feel like trying to use it. I wanted to use some more of the death stuff, but maybe I should have gone with like maybe white blue. I don't know. Here's red. I didn't get a lot of red. I got a Geist Flame Reservoir. That looks kind of interesting, but kind of clunky too. I need to see it in action. This is all the red I got, so I didn't get a whole lot of red. I did get a lot of blue, so that's why I thought I was going to shift into blue, and I got a decent amount of white. But I liked a lot of the stuff in black, and I really like the Suspicious Stowaway. I mean, it's definitely not a bomb, but fun card. And hopefully I've learned a little bit after this tournament. And so in future ones, I'll be better. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys have fun with this set. Let me know how you did. Let me know what I could have done if you saw anything in this pile of cards that I got. Let me know how I can improve. Hopefully by the time you watch this, I will be improved. And we'll talk more about Innistrad as we go along. But this is just day one. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.